Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. Today, we'll recap a busy weekend and a big weekend for the Bulldogs. Ferris State finished 7-1 this past weekend, and we'll touch base with Bulldog football and volleyball. We'll also preview Bulldog hockey, and to start, head coach Tony Annese. And Coach, first of all, welcome back to the show. Welcome back from Ohio with a 2-0 mark in the GLIAC.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Happy to be here.
This past weekend, the Bulldogs on the road, taking on the defending conference champions in Ashland University, and talk about the way your kids played. 34-7, a big Bulldog victory.
Well, last year they just put a number on us in the first half, and we, it was almost overwhelming that they were so much more physical than us and dominated us to such a high level. And so for us to go back to their place and play at the level we played, it's quite gratifying. And you know, the GLIAC, you break up the schedule. You play 3 against the South to begin with, and so we're 2-0 against Ohio schools, and 1 more to go, and we'll be one big hurdle.
I know the Bulldogs going on the road. You look to your defense to step up, and they certainly rose to the occasion here against Ashland.
Wow, you know, it was quite a transformation. You know, I guess it's 2 things. One, you know, and I wanted to make sure of it last week that we gave Lake Erie a lot of credit because we thought they were awful good, and they did pretty well against Wayne State. So. You know, they had some firepower, but the second thing is we just needed to kind of settle down, and we were pretty confident we had the players to be a good defensive unit, and the other night we certainly were.
As we go to the highlights of the game, you started quickly, a much better start than you had against Ashland a year ago. Offense takes the ball down the field and is able to score on the first possession. Yeah,
normally we defer, and they won the toss and deferred, so we got the ball, and we started right away with great field position, and Jason had an opportunity to run the ball a couple times, but we also got the ball with a couple passes and that kind of stuff. It's just kind of a play that Jason broke to the outside and scored a touchdown. So went up 7-0 right away.
After you get this first possession, your defense gets a couple stops. You had a turnover in there, but talk about the play of your defense to get the ball back.
Yeah, it was 3 and out, and I think we had 4 3 and out, so it's huge. We also got a defensive score, which we'll see in a little bit, but. You know, we were able to do the things we needed to do. That drive ended in a turnover, which, if I had to say, the down point was 3 turnovers, which hurt us. But here's Circe breaking a long one on an option play, and we kind of felt like Jason was going to, you know, they're going to build their defense to stop Jason, so we were able to get some perimeter stuff. There we threw an interception, which was our first interception. There Purdy does a great job, and Lou, our defense coordinator, is going nuts on the sidelines. But it was very exciting the way our defense played and held us in all night.
You're able to spread the ball around again as we see this run here from Antonio Eggers, Tarico Circe we saw. We'll see Jake Lampman here soon with a touchdown run,
yeah.
Able to spread the football around.
Yeah, we did. You know, there was, a lot of guys that carried the ball. It was kind of ended up, there's Jake there, but ended up where Kitwana Clark was our leading rusher, and he kind of rushed most of his rushes at the end of the game, but we spread it around where I think we had 4 or 5 guys that had 50 yards in there.
One of the few long runs the Eagles had here in the first half, but your defense after that steps up and gets another stop.
Yeah, we were really worried about the running back. He had 200 yards against Wayne State, and he had a lot of potential here. Corey Ringer, we run an outside zone play, and Corey takes it to the end zone. But yeah, they were able to run the ball most of the game, and against Wayne State, and we we're happy to slow them down quite a bit. There's Justin Zimmer, who was GLIAC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, and so he had a big interception. That's our second defensive score since we've been here. Tyle Moss had one last year against Walsh. And here's another turnover. Our defense created 3 turnovers, which is huge. A.J. McEwen, that's his 3rd interception. And here, but here's our lightning in a bottle here, Dante Ingraham, who makes a million guys miss, and he's been able to make huge plays for us the last 3 weeks, and he's been a welcome addition. He's a great leader and a great kid. Here's the second of the interception on a tip ball that we were again in the red zone, able to an opportunity to score.
You had a 27-0 lead at halftime, and again, your defense makes some big plays. Ashland got the 1 score here in the second half, but for the most part, defense shut them down the entire night.
Yeah, we did. You know, we were very active. You know, Justin Zimmer, I think, had 4.5 sacks, and we put a lot of pressure on their quarterback. Here was their only score of the game, and it's a freshman quarterback, so Coach Owen's kind of in a burden where he's got to play some young guys like we had to last year. But all in all, a great team victory.
Bulldogs with 500 yards of total offense. You forced 3 turnovers on the defensive side. Really an all-around game. Special teams had a contribution as well.
Yeah, our kickoff team's been dynamic. Our kick receive team solid. So, you know, all those, you know, it's really for the first time I feel like since I've been here it was a complete game. Even though we made the mistakes on offense, we were able to move the ball, and we didn't play a perfect game, but our effort and our focus and all those things were really on the top, better than we've been in the 2 years I've been here.
Justin Zimmer, you mentioned the GLIAC Player of the Week, also a National Player of the Week, second straight week for the Bulldogs that they've had a National Player of the Week. Talk about how much he meant to your defense the other
Well,
night.
you know, we knew he was going to be a great player. You know, he comes from Greenville, and he was a steal for us. He was a linebacker out of high school, but we moved him to DN when we got here last spring, and our first spring here. And you know, he backed up 2 good senior defensive ends last year, but we knew he was really going to be a good player. So he's a redshirt sophomore for us, so he's got a couple more years to shine here.
This week you complete the Ohio trip. You travel back to Canton, Ohio to take on Walsh University. First trip for the Bulldogs to Canton, and an opportunity to play at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium.
Yeah, it was a cool venue. It's at the Pro Football Hall of Fame right there, right next to the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Fame Stadium. And so that's neat. And Walsh has a new coach. He's done a great job. Coach Ferris is kind of, you know, getting those guys excited. And so it's going to be a huge test.
Talk about what Walsh presents. It was a hard-fought game last year against them here in Big Rapids. Just talk about what it takes to go on the road and pull out another win.
Yeah, they stymied us pretty good. They defended us better than anybody did last year, and they got quite a few of those guys back. And so we need to, you know, we need to execute better offensively, and then defensively we just need to play with the passion, emotion that we played in last weekend, and they fling it around. You know, they've broken a lot of offensive records in the passing game so far. So, and they're 3 games in, but we got to contain their passing game and try to get to their quarterback, pressure him, and keep him off rhythm.
How big of a game is this in terms of going to 3-0 in the conference as you get ready to come back home and start North Division play against 2 of your rivals, Saginaw Valley and Grand Valley?
Well, it's huge because, you know, you look at the schedule, you know, and you know, I mean, there's teams that are getting 1 loss, and last year we had the 1 loss. Otherwise, we would have been GLIAC North champs if we would have won all 3 of our Ohio games last year. So it's huge. When you have a loss against a crossover game, it counts against your schedule, and it hurts your chances to win, obviously, the entire GLIAC, but also the GLIAC North. As
you have completed 3 weeks here in the season, talk about how much progress has been made from week 1 to week 3.
Well, you know, it's been great. You know, I point to our North Dakota State trip, and their justification for going to North Dakota State was to be ready for Ashland and Walsh. So we got a trip under our belts. We traveled very good to Ashland, and hopefully we do the same to Walsh and Canton. But those experiences of going into a venue like North Dakota State, I think really prepared us for Ashland, and hopefully we do the same thing on our trip to Walsh.
Well, Coach, congratulations again on the win. Best of luck this coming Saturday.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.